caregivers! Today is an absolutely wonderful, incredible morning, and I am so excited to share this information with you. I have reached a phase of the business that I'm so excited to talk about. It's a phase that I am personally most excited about, the phase that keeps me touched, moved, and inspired as an entrepreneur. It's a phase that makes you feel that all that effort and all those hard hours of work have finally paid off. So today in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you about that phase. But first, the teacher has to clean her blackboard. Let me just turn off some lights. Her whiteboard. It's not a blackboard, it's a whiteboard. All right. I don't know if this would be of good use, but it's 5 a.m. in the morning in Arizona. So wherever you are, you need to wake up. I love making these 5 a.m. videos because I can find you wherever you are in the country and just stress you out and be like, wake up, wakey, wakey, wake up. Are you a millionaire? So this is so good. I couldn't even sleep in bed. It's like at 4, my eyes start roaming around. Oh no, the reflection. My light management is so poor. Let me see what I can do. Anyway, you can see me, right? That's the most important thing. You can see me, you can hear me. How are you all doing? And a happy Saturday to all of you. Hold on, let me get my hand, please. A massively amazing happy Saturday to all of you. I am sharing from my home in Arizona. This is Sananga Care Homes. This is Sananga Care Homes headquarters. This is where all that wonderful, amazing content comes out to you. Educational content to develop you into a successful business owner. But this phase of business, I have been waiting patiently, working steadily every day, cranking to get to this stage of business. And the way I will explain to you about this stage of business is in a way when you're going through your own process, you can recognize this milestone. And when you get to this milestone, I want you to leave everything and go celebrate. So that's what we're going to talk about today because it's a very, 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 very important milestone. Let me first of all get some natural light in the house. Now this thing is, why is this thing so, oh, it's because this light is off. And it is in the morning, there's not much light. Let me see. I'm not a light designer. I don't know how to get this straight. So anyway, oh, it's reflecting from, I don't know what to do. And all the light is in my eyes, wrong places and spaces. One more. Okay, maybe this will help. I don't know. Anyway, I need to make my coffee. So, business. We're talking about business. We're talking about the world of group home businesses. This is where we are today. For me, and it's also going to be for you, after all your months and months and months of hard work, there's a day you get to this phase of business. And what I love about this phase is that it validates all that hard work you've been putting. So I'm going to explain the phases of business, and I'm going to explain the phases of business because you are going through the phases of business, of entrepreneurship, as you're setting up your own companies. So your companies is the group homes that you're going to be setting up. And my company is a teaching and education company and the software company, right? So you have your company and I have my company, and we're working together in tandem. I educate you on my process, you educate me on your process, and we work together. And slowly we're climbing up a ladder, right? And the ladder starts with like massive output, hard work, where you just need your grit and your resilience, and you're like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And then you start progressing over time. And now you get to this phase, which I'm going to talk about today. But first, I need some coffee. Yeah, I need some coffee. In the meantime, you can be waking up and telling me about your lovely selves and what you're up to and where in the world you are. And look at this beautiful sunrise coming up there. And I need my baby here to make me some coffee. Which I can't even see. You. Can you see my little $17 coffee machine? I can't wait to move back on up to my expensive coffee machine. So here we are. Let me get a cup. I need a cup and some milk. Okay, which cup should I use for my coffee this morning? Should I use this cup, which is Paris, or should I use Never Stop Exploring? Or should I use this cup that says Never Stop Exploring? Paris or Global Map? Give me a vote. Which cup for my breakfast coffee? This one or this one? Which would you use? That's a question. I think today I'm going to use exploring because we're exploring businesses. So let me use that right over here. And what was I doing? Making coffee. So make a single cappuccino. Good morning, baby. Coffee machine, do your thing. So let it trickle over there. And I'll get some creamer. Okay, my coffee is made. Now we can get started. I usually like soy milk. Oh my god, this is like a sip of coffee, like a small little baby espresso. Let me make some more. Then you can get going. This coffee machine is from the dollar store. It's my real gravel. I should never have sold it. But anyway, here we are. This is like sunrise coffee. Like, we gotta get it moving. This is a Virush. It's called a, look at it. It's a Virush. Virush? Let's see if you can give me a little bit more than that. There it is. And trickle down. Okay, coffee is ready. Sunrise is coming on out. We are ready to begin. This creamer is so sweet. And there's nothing I hate like vanilla creamer. Ugh, the flavor of vanilla. But it's what I have right now. I have to go and buy some. It just ruins coffee. Anyway, now we can start. Okay, so here we are. Good morning, everybody. Once again, my name is Nkatha, and today we are discussing the different phases of business that we are going to go through when you're establishing group homes. And I'm going to start by discussing my own business, which is now the training and education company, which is a software company. It is a company that has been relentlessly educating you on how to open group homes, right? All around the country, because now we're countrywide. Yes. In fact, you know what I'm going to go today and do? I'm going to go to the dollar store and I'm going to buy a global map like this. And then when you write to me from a state, I'm going to put a pin. And then my goal will be by the end of the year, helping somebody from each of the states in the States. And then we're going to go global. Now, I'm going to tell you how I came to this point. This point, this day, this time right now. How did I get here? This is how I got here. So in 2019, I came to the state of Arizona from Manhattan because a friend invited me over to see how assisted living businesses are run, because she had one. So at that point, I was in Manhattan and I was engaged in the pharmaceutical industry. But I think the year she called me, I'd actually quit. I mean, we had been talking for a while. And at that time, I was trying very hard to develop my other streams of income through real estate, because really real estate is my number one passion. Healthcare, sorry, you're number two. But healthcare and real estate combined, number one passion. So I've been trying to develop, I was trying to buy and renovate a duplex in upstate New York, but I couldn't get that loan through. And eventually it's happened to be what we call discriminatory lending practices, where a bank refuses to process your loan application because they have all these other backdoor agreements with God knows which investors they have in their community, and they're getting a cut or a kickback for it. So if you identify a beautiful property that would turn around and be a good quality investment, what they do is not process your application and then siphon out that lead to all these other investors who have made connections with them or are in network with them, and then your deal that you've identified is back siphoned out, right? That's what was happening to me. And in the States, we call that like discriminatory lending practices, because they are discriminating and not lending you, even though you qualify, obviously qualified for the property. You know, the property was $33,000 and such a lovely duplex. I'll never forget. One day I'll share the photographic story of that journey, because eventually we're going to come into the space where I start speaking more about real estate and how you can buy real estate and how you can begin to make your real estate investments, which is good because eventually as you make money from your group homes, you want to know and be clear about where to spend your money, right? So real estate is a good investment vehicle. It's one of my preferential investment vehicles because I just love houses. I love the idea of seeing what they can do. I love the idea of providing quality living experiences for people, like whether it's my clients or whether it's members of our state, right? I love particularly low-income housing. I love housing that's $250,000 and below. And I also love low-income houses, which is like, $100,000 to $150,000. So that's my area of specialty. So what was I going to say? So how I got here in the state of Arizona was by invitation, and I'm forever indebted to the lady who invited me, because she is the reason my business grew to 1.4 million, because she made the invite for me to come over and explore and open my own group home, right? So by doing these education programs, I am inviting you into the space, but I'm not just inviting you into the space of residential homes. I'm inviting you into the space, and then I'm also providing you the education so that you can move forward in the process. And I'm also giving you the confidence, right? So I'm teaching you, I'm giving you the confidence, and I'm encouraging you. Now, how I got here was I wound down my group home in November 2024 because I couldn't pull through my reimbursement successfully, because of reasons best known to them, which I discovered, which is a story for another day, right? So I had to wind down my group home and discharge all of my clients, which I did. Then I decided to take my education and training for you more seriously and now really develop it, because all this knowledge that I'd acquired over all these years in all this 4 or 5 years being in healthcare. And I was clear that providers were loved the least, right? Caregivers were loved the least. You're least recognized and you do a lot of the hard work. Nurse aides were recognized the least. nurse practitioners, LVNs, case managers, discharge planners, wherever you are in the space of healthcare, doctors, physicians, wherever you are. I recognize by being a healthcare provider that was contracted with insurance companies in Arizona and a provider for the state of Arizona, I realized we are doing the hard work and we are loved the least. Not only are we loved the least, we're least paid, right? Depending on your business line. But as caregivers, providing direct care, that money ain't that high for the hard work you do. So caregiving is generally equated with very low or minimum pay in society. That's just the way it goes. And caregiving is insanely hard work. Being a healthcare provider is insane hard work. And most of us are dealing with burnout. We're so burnt out from doing what we do every single day because when you're giving care, it's just energy going out of you. And most of the times you don't have time to recoup and turn around and restore yourself and rehabilitate. So by the time I wound down my home, I was fatter. I mean, I'm still plumpy, I'm still returned, but I was fatter. I could have gone rolling down the hill because of all the stress that I was just going through and managing the group home, the administration, the caregiving, supporting my caregivers, coming into the group home, being the group home's mommy. Working with insurance plans, doing the billing, the environment. I was fat and exhausted, and there were days that I genuinely thought I was going to have a cardiac arrest and simply just die on the spot because I couldn't feel my body anymore because I was exhausted to the hilt. And most of you health practitioners who I lovely and belovedly call caregivers, and I like waking you up in the morning, and I love calling you caregivers because we all come into this country and we start in the role of a caregiver, then we all ascend up. So you've all ascended up or are ascending up in your own special and beautiful ways, and I love you for that. But we love the list. So I decided, having gone through what I've gone through and really pretty much financially being wiped out down into the bone and down into debt, because when they stopped paying me for reasons of their own, I had all this financial expenses that they had because I was running like a 6-roomed office. I had this group home. I was in the process of expanding. There was just so much that I was expanding out. And so I needed my money. I needed my money for my services to be paid to me so I could keep those running, right? So by the time everything was closing down, even my vanilla creamer, I have to run to the store at 6 o'clock when Walmart opens and buy my beloved soul milk. I cannot hack this, but anyway, it's whatever it is. I'll be grateful. Anyway, so I had bills, right? Because now that time I was making over $260,000 per year. I'd expanded, I was growing. I wanted to open either an outpatient treatment center or really actually then change my mind. When the moratorium came in the state of Arizona, I was now going to open my education and training facility. And a lot of the photos you see around my work, those beautiful office photographs, that was my office, which unfortunately I had to wind down, and I love the space, right? Because once they stopped paying me and I was floating all these expenses, I had nothing to pay. So now there I went down the bumbly path, and let me tell you, I had to fight to be alive. The classes and the lessons I used to do here in Sananga care homes with my clients and my groups that I had to do with my whiteboard, I had to sit every day and do those groups for myself. Group therapy for myself, individual counseling for myself, because my soul was down in the dumps, my psyche was down in the dumps. I couldn't believe the level of betrayal, and I most definitely could not believe the level of just daylight robbery. Truthfully, robbery, right? So, what happened? So I decided to first take care of myself and heal myself so I don't jump the fence, right? Take care of myself, heal myself, work on myself so I don't jump the fence. And as I was working on myself, I was using AI to follow through with my commitment, which was I was going to come into this space and now become support providers, which is you, who I lovingly call caregivers, support you all and help you come up the ladder by giving you the truth and educating you about what actually happens in the space of group homes and what it means to relate and contract with the state and all these insurance companies. What are the pitfalls? What are the successes? How do you run and manage these operations? What could you do about them and what could you do better? How do you understand the systems and how do you get to the point of making a profit? So that became my commitment because I fell to the ground. And I'm telling you, I almost jumped the fence. I had to work so hard because where my mind was in utter and pure hell. And having run this home and helped other people rehabilitate, it was now my turn to rehabilitate me and apply and employ all those things that I had taught and given to all of my clients so that I could come up the ladder emotionally. And now I'm emotionally fine. Not quite rich yet. I'm getting there. I'm really getting there. In fact, this is what we're talking about today. I'm getting there, but I had to put in intense, hard emotional work, look at myself, look at what was going through, process the betrayal, process the pain, process the heart, process the anger, process the irritation. And that took me 1 good year and process the triggers and process the entire freaking PTSD that came with everything and all the massive failure that I was going through alone. By the way, you realize a lot you go through alone. Let me just give you the tea. Let me give you the tea. Those friends you think are friends, let me just give you the tea. When you come tumbling down, have the tea. That's why it's so important for me to create cohorts of like-minded people who are going to experience the same thing of opening the group home, because you need each other. And your cohorts might become your lifelong buddies, because what you're going to do with your cohort is what is going to sustain you through this process, because this is an up and down process. And it might start pretty for you if you have the money, or it might not start as pretty for you if you don't have the money. Having the money, not having the money, you're both going to get to goal, okay? That's why I encourage you, with money, with not money, it doesn't mean anything. What gets you through is your emotional grit. And I say it over and over again, because you could have the money, but you don't have the emotional grit. You don't have the, you don't have the tenacity. You don't have the focus. You don't have the commitment. You're not going to get there. So it's not money that determines whether you're going to get there or not. It is your emotional grit and your commitment to your goal. So me getting here today, which is what I'm celebrating, hasn't been about money, because I've been surviving on $5, $10, $15, $5, $10. It's not been the money that has gotten me here. It's me having made the decision that I was going to get out of the emotional hole, out of that massive, deep anxiety and depression and anger and betrayal and irritation. It was me deciding that I was going to climb up emotionally. I was going to put the product together. I was going to disperse the product to you, which is education and trading. And then I was going to turn around and turn it into an ultra successful business, which is why we're having this conversation today, because I'm celebrating, for me, the milestone of getting here and looking a bit prettier, not so plumpy and not so stressed. And one of the things that I wanted to do for my life was earn joyful money. And joyful money is money that I earn from teaching you with joy. I wanted joyful money. I didn't want that money that just comes from so much stress, so much anger. Wow, look at that sunrise. Wow. Really, could turn my computer and show it to you, but can you see it? Wow. I don't know if I can see you, but the sun is, wow, it's going to look so amazing. So, this is not a bad angle. Actually, it's better because there's no reflection. So, what am I saying? So, I'm celebrating a major milestone today because I have gotten here. Emotionally, I've gotten here. Financially, I'm yet to get there. But today marks the beginning of the financial uplift. So when I started this channel, when I came back from Kenya in February this year, I shared with you all of $1.46. I created that $1.46 program. I offered this space to you. 2 people joined. What happened to all of you anyway? I know you weren't confident at that particular time. But today I'm celebrating a major milestone, which is I have conquered and grown through emotionally the pain and the loss and the failure of a business that I loved, and the massive betrayal and anger and irritation that I felt. So there's been emotional growth for me. But number two, I've worked extremely hard to put this product out for you, which is the education and the training on how you can open this group homes, right? And I have been working so hard behind the scenes to develop the software where I take the beautiful, loving, amazing self that I am, and I put it in software so that wherever you are in the country or in the world, you can pick up the software, enroll in it, and the software is going to guide you through your licensing process. And also, it's a software that you're going to use to help manage your group homes. Because in this group homes, there's the other day I was auditing an assisted living, and there are 91 touch points. In fact, I think I was looking at the document right here. Let me see. For an assisted living, there are 91 touch points, meaning if it's a personnel file, you have to know when the fingerprints of all your 6 staff members are expiring, when the CPR first aid is expiring. Those are 6 touch points, then another 6 touch points. Then you have to always cross-check, if you're hiring people who have a board license, like your clinical supervisor or your nurse, you have to remember when all those things will be expiring. That's another touch point. So we already have 12, and then there are now 2. Then you have to remember, like when you enroll new people, new staff members, you have to do an emergency orientation, whether it's a resident or it's a staff member. That's another 2 touch points. We're already at 15 to 17. Then you have to cross-check the temperatures of your home every day. You have to check your ACs. You have to check your thermometers in your fridge. That's a what? How many thermometers do we have for air conditioning? 3 in my house. That's now 17 touch points plus 3. That's 20 touch points. Then we add on the thermometers you have in your fridge. They have to be a certain temperature. In the fridge, 41 degrees and below. In the deep freezer, 0 and below. Most of us have 2 fridges and 1 deep freezer. We're 20 touch points. That's another 3 touch points. Then you have to post your menus every week on a Sunday before the day that the week officially starts. So you have to figure out the menu of that week and post it on the wall. Like mine used to be posted over there. That was put my menu. That's now the 21st touch point. Then you add the scheduled 22nd touch point. By the time we get to the resident files or the personnel files, we are down to 90 something plus touch points. It is impossible to keep abreast of all those touch points while also providing care to your clients. It's impossible. That's why I was plumpy, because I was managing all of these things plus managing the care of my clients. So I committed to developing a software that could help you and keep you reminded of all those touch points. So today I'm also celebrating where I have reached in the development of that software. And you will be paying me for that software on a monthly basis. And now we're going to come to the place where we'll start talking about your business structure. Because when you pay me monthly for that software that I've been creating, I will start earning monthly recurring revenue, okay? So that's the way it's going to go. Plus, now I'm at the point where I'll begin charging you to come into a formalized classroom space beyond just consuming this education and training product on YouTube. I'll continue with my YouTube education. It will continue to be valuable, but now I want to bring you into a more formalized setting, because now I've given you enough information and content for free, but now it's time for you to be in a formalized space so that now you can proactively work on the content you have received for free on YouTube, right? On scholarship. It wasn't for free because I've paid to give it to you. It wasn't for free. I gave you on scholarship. It wasn't free. It was on scholarship. So now that you've consumed content on scholarship, because I have paid for you to have it, because all this has to be paid for, right? And my time has to be paid for. So I've paid it for you. But now you come into a formalized classroom space because now you're at a more serious level with your commitment of opening a group home. So now just sitting and consuming the content on YouTube is great, but now you need to move a level up. The way I too am moving a level up. So I'm moving from providing education on scholarship to my next level of business, which is now charging for the education, and which is a step up from the scholarship, right? It's the same thing you're going to do. You've consumed this education on scholarship, but now because you're serious about your commitment, you need to be in a serious community so that you use and utilize each other's energy, each other's knowledge, each other's encouragement, and now you actually get your commitments done. And your commitment is to get that group home open. So that's the phase we are in as a channel. That's the phase I am in as a business owner of this training and education and this software that I've been developing. That's where I am. But I'm teaching you about the back end of what I'm doing so that you too can turn around and celebrate your milestone. Because the first place you saw these videos is when you probably started Googling, how do I open a group home? What is required in my state? What are the different types of group homes, right? What is the sequence of steps to open a group home? Everything group home, group home. How do I operate a group home? What do I need to do? Now, when you guys are calling me, you're echoing back to me that the first thing you have to ensure that you do is check out the distance between where other group homes are in your community. So I'm like, yes, you've gotten the point. Point number one, when you're thinking about opening a group home, is checking where other group homes are in your community so that you can maintain the distance that your, that your city has set out for group homes. So now when you call me and you're echoing that point to me back that I knew you didn't know, I'm like, yes, my education is making a difference in your life. You are getting the concepts, the knowledge is becoming clear. It means it's chewable for you. You can understand it. You're memorizing it. You're committing it to memory. And I know you are growing, which is so great. And I'm so happy. That's why today we are celebrating the milestone reached. Step number 2 would be getting that formalized knowledge from your city of what to do and what is required to permit that property, right? Because for licensing, you always have to submit a permit from your city that says you have been permitted to run a group home in that particular zip code that you are, and you have met all the permitting requirements. And there are certain documents you have to give to your city for you to be granted that permit, okay? So now you guys are getting that point. Then comes to the point where you're preparing your documentations for the state. And when you're preparing your documents for the state, they have to see that the city has permitted your home. Okay, so your city permits your home, you get that certificate of occupancy where the city says, in this particular home, my home, Sananga Care Homes, is 2,200 square feet. It's 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. I have 3 bedrooms on this side. Then I have a mother-in-law suite on that side with 1 bedroom and a little kitchenette. So it's 3 bedrooms, and then over there is 1 bedroom. So it's 4 bedrooms and 3 baths, 2 bathrooms, bathtubs, and then 1 walk-in shower in the master bedroom, right? So the city looked at my home, they came, they saw everything I had done was correct. Then they permitted my home and gave me a certificate of occupancy. And that certificate of occupancy that says the home is permitted for 6 residents has to be submitted to the state, your Department of Licensing, right? Your Department of Healthcare Licensing, Healthcare Services Licensing. For us in Arizona, it's the Arizona Department of Healthcare Services. They're the ones who license any kind of healthcare entity, any kind of healthcare business, right? Anyone who wants a license to provide healthcare services. So now I'm hearing that you're getting it. I know you're not yet very good at developing the policies and procedures. You're not yet very confident in filling out the forms, but at least you've understood that it is okay to go into your state and peep at the forms and just familiarize yourself with the website. You've also understood the point that you can go and create Google folders and start saving those documents in a Google folder. So if it's the documents for permitting, you save them in a Google folder called City Permitting. If it's a documents for licensing, you save it in the folder called Documents Required for Licensing, right? So permitting folder gets all the documents that you need for permitting. Licensing, you put all the documents required for licensing. When you're creating your NPI, and I'll show you how to get an NPI, a national provider identity number that identifies the type of healthcare business you're running, you are going to open up a folder and save all the screenshots in the process of you getting that NPI number, okay? So we're coming to the stage where we'll be talking about the forms and filling out those forms and developing your policies and procedures and filling out your state-specific forms has to be done in a formalized classroom environment, in the cohort. So that's not stuff, I mean, I could teach it to you over YouTube, and I will, but we need to cross-check that information, because if your information is not correct, then this is where all the mistakes begin to happen, and this is what delays your licensing, and that is what I don't want to happen to you, because delayed licensing is more money out of your pocket, and it is my goal to save you from expending all and wasting all these dollars because your documentation is poor. So that has to be done in a classroom environment. I don't want you to just sit out there and do it on your own unless you're extremely good in paperwork and you can read those documents with confidence and you can fill them out with confidence and you know what you're doing is good and accurate. If not, it is your responsibility to find the money to come into the classroom, because this is your commitment. And this needs to be done in a more formalized space, because we need to cross-check each other. We need to cross-check what we're filling out and make sure that these documents are accurate. So that part of paperwork is not something I would encourage you to just learn on scholarship and complete on scholarship unless you know you're confident with your administrative skills. Because could you do it alone? Yes, you could. But my preference for you is to find the money, pay for the classroom, and come in so that even that knowledge can cement deeper and further in your mind. And we will talk about the costs of the classroom, because this is the scholarship room, right? This space, you're learning everything on scholarship at my cost. I'm paying it for you, but now you need to come in and actually remove, those old monies that you have and you have saved and you have set aside to now learn the formalized part of the knowledge in the classroom. So as your mentor and your leader, you need to come into the classroom for that, because this is now the formalized process of starting the business. So you have to be in a formal environment, and that's what I've created for you. Now, moving on, back to my story of how I got into this position. Once I became clear that that is a problem I needed to solve, meaning I needed to come in and encourage you as providers, share this awesome, beautiful love I have, teach you about the mistakes, encourage you, show you the process, teach you about your different states, what's available, what can be done, what can be done. One of the things that I did is look at the statistics of caregivers across the country, across the globe, what percentage were earning, if they were earning what amount of money. I also looked at the statistics of the entire healthcare industry in general. Now, these are numbers that I just did a random AI Google on, right? And figured out this number. So it's not like I did like super amazing research, but I got a general good idea of how big the healthcare industry is, how many caregivers we have across the globe, what caregivers are up to, how much they pay, they're not paid. So what I did, number one, was establish the market size. Whenever you're establishing a business, you always want to establish how big is the market size, right? You have to know how big. So I discovered like the healthcare is like a 5.3 trillion market size, marketplace, market segment. So you all know my address. When you Google Sananga Care Homes, you all know my address. Can you please buy me this Expo pens and just ship them to my house, please? Because mine are dry and you need to help your teacher right here and they are bone dry. If you Google Sananga Care Homes, you'll find my address. Just go to your Walmart app and just shoot me some pens, please. I need some pens to be able to teach you. These ones are dry, bone dry. Okay, so first thing you always do about a business is establish your market size. You're like, I want to establish an assisted living business. Great. How big is the problem? Or how big is the market size? So that goes away. That comes close. So Let me see. Thing is like magic. So market, oh, this one works well. So market size. So market size, 5.3 trillion. Right? That's how big the healthcare market space is, according to my quick random Google. Don't hold me on this one. Generally, it was a good number. Next thing you want to know is how big is the problem? And what is the problem? What problem are you solving? When you're coming to the space of group homes, what problem are you solving? What problem? So the next was what problem? What problem am I solving? And the problem that I decided that I was going to solve was, said in very street lingo, was the lack of love for providers. Lack of love for providers. That was problem number one. Problem number two was a lack of understanding of the complexity of the process in establishing a group home. So it is complex. Complexity around opening a group home. Opening a group home. Now, under the complexity around opening the group home was understanding the state requirements. So understanding the state requirements right there. So first problem was understanding the state requirements. Second problem was understanding the sequence of steps. The next problem was understanding the operations, how to operate group homes. So operation of group homes. And then the next problem I was solving was meeting the compliance requirements. So here. Send me pens, people. Compliance requirements. And then there's more in there. So this is the same thing you have to do. And yesterday I created a video where I was talking about being honest with your business. You always have to audit emotionally where you are with your business. And I encourage all of you to buy a whiteboard. Do you want to see how many whiteboards I have? I have a ton. Do I even have some more here? I have maybe 20 whiteboards. And this is how I healed. I'd whiteboard out my issues, but the next day they magically disappeared. By auditing yourself and your business, you make it clear to your mind what you're about and what you're up to. So when I wake up at 4:30, it's because my goal is clear. The whole premise and the whole slogan of my company is clarity creates profits. When you're clear about what you're solving and why you're solving it, you can be clear about the steps to do daily. So when I wake up every day, I'm clear about what I need to do every day because I'm clear about the problem that I'm solving. This is a problem that I'm solving. And the reason that motivated me, my why to solve this problem, is because I saw you can come in with your beautiful, lovely, amazing, innocent energy, establish businesses in these states, and one error from the mother hen, one error can wipe you out completely. So it was a problem for me because I'm like, why have I been awarded 100% in my audits, which means I've demonstrated absolute integrity with the federal funds, because this money, this state funds, right? The state funds. I was integral with my state funds, meaning I didn't steal, I didn't take anything for myself beyond what was due to me. But instead, what was due to me was taken away from me by the mother hens and the chickens of the mother hens. And I keep saying this is a class for another day, but I do discuss it in my VIP class, the Behavioral Health Business Masterclass, because then you're really serious about your commitment in this space. So that's the exclusive class, which I'll talk about later. So I realized that you're all like me. You come into the country, you come in as caregivers, you work your way up the ladder, and then the institutions, in one way, shape, or form or the other, make the decisions that they do without regard to the providers who are working in the space. And the consequences are so high for all of us who are providers. And these are just, decisions being made by institutions with absolutely no regard to the people who are like you and me, who work so hard in this space. You see what I'm saying? And from that complete financial wipeout, I was like, I need to come out and inform the audience of caregivers, providers, LPNs, nurses, case managers, disciplinaries, of all of you coming into the space, who controls the decision making and what the consequences of that decision making could be for you in your life. So when you're coming and you're creating these businesses, you're fully aware of the risk. And you don't come in with a mindset that since you're becoming providers, you're becoming enrolled providers with the state, and you become contracted providers with all these managed care organizations, that because they are entities that are feeding from the state, that they are integral, because they are not. Okay? And that's why I say, don't trust them. Or trust but verify. Everything you do in this business, trust but verify. But anyway, back to the space of creating a business. So I realized there was a problem. There was a problem. We weren't getting any love. In all my years of working so hard and taking care of this difficult clients, no one wrote and said thank you to me. So I decided that I'm going to come into this space. I'm going to give providers love, and then I'm going to follow through with the education component, because I became extremely good at it. And I'm going to teach it to you and teach you all of the pitfalls and the good things and all the love and all the good stories and everything. That's what I'm doing. So I took on this problem, and this problem has a dollar amount attached to it. This problem, the problem of caregivers not having enough knowledge, the problem of providers not being well rested, caregivers feeling the burnout, not earning enough. This problem has a dollar amount attached to it. And I decided I'm going to come in and solve the problem, and then turn around and bill for solving the problem. Now, there are many ways I could have decided to solve this problem. I could have decided to start with the state, and then come down to the MCOs, and then come down to the providers. But I was not committed to starting with the state, and then the MCOs, the managed care organizations, the insurance plans, what we call Medicaid, those insurance plans, they're subcontractees of Medicaid. They have money because insurance plans make money across the country. So money, they have money, right? And I've got to pay the bigger buck. But then I decided, what about my beloved caregivers? Who is going to teach them? Who is going to educate them? Who is going to clarify the process for them? Who is going to tell them the truth, the pitfalls, the successes, the profit? Who is going to break it down for them in the way they understand? And you know what? I care about your lives because I saw how damaging that betrayal was to me. And I knew that it could happen to you too, because we all come into these spaces with such a good heart. We're caring, we want to help. And then these institutions let us down, okay? Because that's just the way they think. They're an institution. They're not there thinking about you and your beautiful honey, boo-boo, and your children and what you're doing and how hard you're working. They're not. So I said, let me come in and provide that education. So I could have solved the problem from the top, but I decided that I was going to solve the problem where I feel it mattered most and would cause the largest change, which is changing your life and educating you as a caregiver, so that you can come up the ranks and establish your own businesses and get those amazing caregivers and help those caregivers that come through your organization come up the ranks, because it's like a funnel. You come into the country, you get your first caregiving job, you pay this amount of money, that 10 baka, that 12 baka, and then you grow your knowledge, you go quickly, you get your CNA license or your nurse aid license, and you do that for a little bit, then you go quickly, you advance your knowledge, you get your LPN. Some of you become phlebotomists. There's such a wide array of careers and caregivers. I just lump it all in one and just say caregivers, because at the end of the day, we're caregivers. But you advance. Then some of you get your associates, you become an RN, your board license, then you go on a little bit more, you get your bachelor's degree, and then you go on and on and on. And now you come and find me, where now I welcome you with a big heart and big love. And I say, Welcome into the world in the space of entrepreneurship and healthcare. Here I am. My name is Nkatha. I've been in healthcare for 20 years. I've worked in the big pharmaceutical industries. We've boxed each other. I came out and I'm here loving on you and teaching you so that you can develop your amazing, successful group home businesses, because everyone understands how to have a home, but you don't really understand how to create a business in that home, which is my specialty and which is the knowledge I impart to you on scholarship. Okay? So that's how I decided the problem that I was going to solve. That's the same way you are coming in. And when you're coming into this space, you need to know what is the big dollar amount of the problem that you're solving. If you're coming into the space of assisted living, you need to know the big number. How many people to date in the US market need assisted living services? Okay, you have to know your big number, because your big number is going to get you out of bed. In behavioral health in the US, behavioral health in the US, I believe, is $185 billion industry. Whee! That's my big number in the behavioral health world, right? So 185 billion, I'm like, this is something in for me. I'm going to get up and do what I need to do to get to that number. So that's what we call the total addressable market. It's also called your TAM. How big is it? Then you come to your smallest addressable market, meaning it can be addressed, it can be attacked, it can be serviced, right? Total, so this is TAM, your total addressable market, TAM. TAM. If you know my address, send me pens, okay? Just Google Sananga Care Homes and send me pens. TAM. Total addressable market. And then now you come to your area. What's addressable for you? What's within reach for you? How much of that? That's called your SAM, your smallest addressable market. Like, you know, some stores, that's SAM. SAM. Smallest addressable market. By the way, just remembered, I need to renew my cage code for my company. Let's see, where are you? Yeah, oops. Today's August 8th. I need to do it. So SAM is your smallest addressable market. And then now you'll come into your little community and you'll say, like, in my zip code, right? When I drive around and I look at all these developments, how many seniors in this neighborhood need my services, right? So now you'll come into your tiny addressable market. Like, I live in a development that has other developments. Look at that beautiful sunrise. It's a pity you can't see it. Maybe now actually changes that, and it doesn't even make a difference because the light is bright. So now you're going to come into your tiny, your whatever. So when you're driving around in your car, look at your different neighborhoods and imagine how many people need my services? How many people need shared independent living, right? How many veterans are there, they're not ex-veterans, right? How many veterans are there? How many vulnerable people are there? Now you need to start looking at your outpatient treatment centers, your clinics. You need to start looking at your Section 8 programs. If you're doing shared independent living, what Section 8 programs are out there? Because those are individuals who are looking either for shared independent living accommodation, or they are looking for apartments, they're looking for homes. So now we're coming a little bit into the world of real estate. It's housing. Who needs housing? How many people? When you go into your Facebook groups in your community, start asking those questions. Does anyone have a vulnerable adult who needs to be housed in an assisted living setting? That's why you're in those Facebook groups for your communities, not for gossip or reading the greatest gossip. That gossip is not important. Don't be the ones commenting and gossiping and hating on your neighbor. That is a waste of your business space and energy. But when you're driving around the community, when you're going shopping, when you're in your Walmart stores, your Gelsons, your Bashas, when you're in your Sprouts, when you're going to the gym, all these social activities that you do for yourself, when you're going hiking, in your professional spaces, start looking and seeing how many of these people have the kind of individuals I'm looking to serve. Now you are understanding your marketplace in your zip code. And you have to think about it in a formalized way like this, because if you don't formalize your self-education, you can't grow from it because your vision is not clear. When your vision is not clear, your discipline is shaky. My discipline is not shaky because my goals are very clear, because I take the time to clarify my goals every single day on my whiteboards. And I have whiteboards all over my house in my thinking room. So when your goal is clear like this, and you need to clarify your goals, then when you wake up every morning, your steps are clear. When your steps are clear, you don't waste time, you're disciplined. So I don't pick phone calls during my key work hours. I'll pick them like later down the day, or I'll text you back and tell you I'll call you back. I concentrate. I wake up early in the morning. I'm a single woman. I live alone. So I don't have, the distraction of family. I can really fully concentrate, but I still discipline myself as if there were other people all around me. And waking up early is really good for you because it is quiet. Now I'm getting to enjoy the beautiful sunrise through this window and then seeing it the way it reflects in my house. But the environment is quiet, it's peaceful. I can think through my business. I can think through my goals. Remember, it's a $5.3 trillion healthcare industry. Behavioral health is 185 billion. And I'm like, you know what? I could just get one of those billion. So I wake up, I do my teaching, I educate you. And when I'm not here educating you, I'm on my phone coding and developing the software that will support you throughout this process. So go to Walmart, go to your nearest stores. I got mine from Walmart, or even you can go to Goodwill, they're there. Buy yourself these whiteboards, buy yourself these pens, and every single day, carve out some time to highlight your goals so you know exactly where you're going and what it is about. But today I'm teaching you about thinking about your business from a bird's eye view, and then we're coming down to it. And the bird's eye view starts with the industry size. How big is the industry? You have to understand that. How big is the smallest addressable market? You have to know that number. Then it comes into your community, your zip code. How many people are looking for services that you are offering in your zip code? This is where now those apps like Nextdoor, those community Facebook pages, even for me driving out into my casinos here in Arizona, I see so many elderly people. Those are great people to market your assisted living homes to, right? I see so many outpatient treatment centers and behavioral hospitals. Those are places to go and submit market my group homes to, right? So your community is where your business is at, and you have to understand and think beyond yourself, beyond your, I'm just going to call it small-mindedness, but it doesn't mean small-mindedness abusive. You're small-minded. No, you have to think from that small-minded thinking to the bigger industry. Because once you get the numbers of the bigger industry and what's available for you, your mind grows. So now we finished talking about the industry in general, the TAM, the total addressable market. Now we've spoken about the SAM, the smallest addressable market, and we've spoken about your community, your zip code, and what problem you're solving, okay? So now we're going to move on to the next part, designing your business based on the knowledge that you know. Whee! The pain, the problem. Whee! There you go. So once you know the size of your marketplace, you know the size of the business, you're now driving around your neighborhood with a purpose. You're Googling around your neighborhood to find what other healthcare companies are in your neighborhood. So you're figuring out all of that information. By the way, I can see all of you who are joining the live. Let me even just formally put it in the chat. You're welcome to ask questions. I can see you because I can see anytime you come in. Welcome to the live today. Today we are discussing how to understand the market size of your business. Please put your questions here. Welcome and good morning. Okay, so what was I going to say next? So now you've understood your TAM, you know your total addressable market. You've seen your smallest addressable market. You've driven around your zip code to see what's available. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about your zip code because I want you guys to become really good at identifying what other healthcare businesses are in your business, are in your zip code. And what I'm doing with today's conversation is expanding your mind beyond the small-mindedness where I'm here. Teach me how to open a group home. What do I need to do? Give me those papers. I want you to always think from the bigger size because the big things get you motivated and they get you out of bed. So now we're talking about your particular zip code. So for your zip code, I want you to identify what healthcare businesses are there. Businesses. I want you to identify the hospitals, the outpatient treatment centers, these are your clinics. You know those private practices? Identify the private practices. I want you to identify the private practices, the individual practices, individual. I want you to identify the individual practices. I want you to identify the group homes. This is your homework for today, and the types. What types? Oh, these pens of mine. What types of group homes are in your community? Are there DDD homes? Are there sober living homes? Are there transitional homes? So all of them. Hold on 1 second. Let me find me some pens somewhere. They are all done. So nice and hot over here. I love it. Temperature. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so identify the group homes. Let's see. Is it sober living? Sober living. Ooh, I have one working pen. Sober living home, transitional, shared independent, living. What else? Shared independent living. You want to see your DDD, or some states call it IDD. You want to see your assisted living. And then behavioral, which is psychiatric, behavioral. Some call it psychiatric, and behavioral, psychiatric, and what do others call it? Like mental health. I also want you to identify where your food stamp offices are, right? Food stamps. That's a huge one. Food stamps. If you have any of those offices. Also, your Section 8 offices. Section 8. And your shelters or any nonprofits that service vulnerable members. So we're going to do here nonprofits and shelters. Now, this is how you understand who is doing what in your business. I want you to figure out where your hospitals are in your zip code. Like we have in City of Maricopa, we have two. We have Banner Hospital, and then we have a new emergency hospital that opened called Emergent Hospital. Banner is here walking distance from the house. The other one I could get to if I ride my bicycle, right? We also have an outpatient treatment center, centers. We have, I've seen something that supports, individuals with developmental disabilities, specifically autism. And then we have La Frontera, which is an outpatient treatment center that supports individuals with behavioral and mental health issues in my little downtown Maricopa City. Then we have private practices, OBGYNs, we have podiatrists, labs. I forgot labs. Private practices and labs. You know where people can go for labs? Like we have labs, we have a company called Sonora Quest. Sonora Quest. Oh, another thing you need to identify is those quick clinics where you can go for TB and those urgent cares. Sorry, I forgot those urgent cares. Urgent cares, yeah. So identify where we have also an urgent care in Maricopa, and I saw another one opening up. So identify the individual practices. What specialties do you have in your community? Do you have GI doctors? Do you have OBGYNs? We have a huge family practice physician. So here we're looking at FPs, we're looking at GPs, we're looking at podiatrists, we're looking at OB-GYN, we're looking at cardiologists. I mean, there's so many. We're looking at derms, dermatologists. You need to know all these people, because when you're servicing people with medical needs, you need to know who's available. We're looking at GA doctors. These are the common issues. You need to know who's available in your community. Then I want you to look at group homes. What group homes are available in your community? Are there sober living homes, transitional homes, shared independent living homes, DDD homes, assisted living homes, and then behavioral, psych, mental health homes? I want you to know where your food stamp offices are, your Section 8 offices, and then nonprofits and shelters. And I forgot one more, which is very important, your food banks, grocery stores, which you know that one, grocery stores, and your Goodwills. Now, you see, some of you really think, not some of you, it's when you're establishing a business, the one question you're always worried about is, where am I going to get my referrals? You're like, my referrals? How will I fill the home? How do you get clients? Where are my referrals coming from? When you highlight your community like this and you get this information figured out, you're going to see so many avenues for referrals. Because if I opened a 6-bed or a 10-bed facility today, I'm going to create my nice little brochure, my 3-minute video. I'm going to put it on a nice, cute little website. And then I'm going to go around with a QR code or a little brochure to all these people, because this is your healthcare ecosystem, including where food stamps are gotten and applied for, your Section 8 offices, your shelters. All of these people have people for you. I haven't even gone to churches. But let me just add churches. Or let me just say here, what do you call churches? What's another school? Religious institutions, right? Religious institutions. Like your churches. I know we have here a lot of members of Church of the Latter-day Saints. They usually come to my home. We sit, we talk, we pray, we laugh. I get to meet people from all across the world. So the Church of the Latter-day Saints has been coming to my home ever since I opened my home. And when I started, it was so lonely. So I loved having the sisters and the elders come over, right? And it was really, really a good time. Then we'd read the Book of the Mormon together. Now, I'm a Buddhist, but look, I have the Book of Mormon right here. And this is what you're going to do for your group home. See here? The Book of Mormon. For your group home, just be inclusive. Just because I'm a Buddhist, aka Christian, aka not too sure where I belong, but they come in, we read the Book of Mormon, we pray. I met them. Last time I met sisters from Tonga and was it Samoa? I have never met anybody from Samoa or Tonga. I was so happy to meet them, and they were beautiful ladies, and we shared our culture. So I have the Book of Mormon available. And the hymn book that I used to play when I had my little keyboard, I didn't even know was from the Church of the Latter-day Saints. So here we are. So be culturally inclusive. It's not all about you and your Christian religion or wherever it is that you come from. People all over the world believe in all different things, and it's your role as an entrepreneur and as an administrator to practice inclusivity. Imagine if I didn't welcome the sisters. I would never have met these two amazing sisters from Tonga and Samoa. So be inclusive, because one thing you realize with group homes, everyone comes from a different culture that they were raised in. Everyone comes from a different country. And the cultures are so different. And when your home is inclusive, you get to learn from each other. So if you're ever wondering about where referrals come from, this is where referrals come from. They come from your healthcare ecosystem. healthcare ecosystem. And being organized about this information is what helps you move from A to B, is what helps you build a quality pipeline of referrals. It's what helps you scale your company. Here it is. This is your healthcare ecosystem. Health. See somewhere there, healthcare ecosystem. So it's an ecosystem. It's your little country over here. So you are my healthcare ecosystem, and I reach out to you and I find you on YouTube. And I've built out my healthcare ecosystem from just my little city of Maricopa. Now I'm across the country because now we're communicating, and I'm using YouTube as my channel, and I'm finding you wherever you are across the United States and across the world. 65% of you are from the United States. What other countries are you watching me from? Please put it in the chat or put it in the comment, because I would like to know, because I can't tell with specificity if the data is not enough. So to summarize where we are right now, the first thing we talked about is why I was in business, why you're coming into business, what my motivation was, the lessons that I've learned, how I decided to take on the problem that I've currently taken on, which is supporting caregivers and providers across the country by teaching and educating you and breaking down the complexity of starting the business. And my motivation was having gone through my own failure because I wasn't able to pull through the reimbursement because of all the hibby-jibby reasons that I share about in, I'll share about in a later class, because that's 404. You know, we're in group home 202 now, but there's 404. That's 404. We're in 202. And I don't want to take you to 404 until we finish 202, then get to 303, and then get to 404. But if you come to the BHBMC, the Behavioral Health Business Masterclass, which is an exclusive class, I teach you 404 because that's a 404 class. And then we came around to understanding our total business that's available for us in the market, which helps you not feel jealous of other people who have 10 homes, 15 homes, 16 homes, because everyone starts with one home. But when you see how big the marketplace is for you, you can always rise up with a mind frame of abundance. Then we came to a smaller marketplace, which is a smallest addressable market, you know, that you can reach. Then we came to our TAM, our tiny addressable market, which is your zip code and all the healthcare businesses that are around you. And it's important for you to get known in these businesses. For example, I have my OBGYN in the neighborhood that I go for my annuals, my gynecological healthcare. When I had female residents, I took them to the same practice. And when they saw my clients and they also knew me, guess what they started doing? Referring clients to me, because they would not have known that I run a behavioral health company without me having referred my clients there. And I wanted to refer my clients to the same practice that I go through and the same set of OBGYN doctors, because I knew them and I knew their practice and I knew their protocols. And in the city of Maricopa, that was Sun Life. So I wanted everything coordinated. So when they spoke about their doctors, I knew who they were talking about and I knew the practice. So that's what I did. If you have your own behavioral health home, send them to the set of physicians that you know, because then it's smooth. Because, you know, sometimes your residents are not very good in communicating what they need. And so you can help support their communication and empower them about their process, right? So this is your whole ecosystem. I'm going to move aside and let you take a snapshot. So this is your homework for this weekend. Your homework is to figure out all of these practices, because remember the weekend we're doing boot camp. It's like group home boot camp. Other people are sleeping, but you cannot sleep in because you have the dream of setting up a group home. So figure out your ecosystem. It is going to empower you, right? And this doesn't include social spaces. It doesn't include the social spaces of, because when I go out into the park where there's all those big fields, all those skateboards, there's a swimming pool, when I see how many people are in the city of Maricopa or during Halloween, I am shocked. Because I just live in my little house over here and I don't go much out into the society or do a lot of social activities because A, I don't have family, and B, I'm busy doing my work. So I don't see, but when I go, I'm just like, oh my God, where did all these humans come from? Or when I go to Walmart on a busy day, which I don't regularly do because I run my life on entrepreneurial hours, and we don't shop when the rest of the world is shopping. But when I go and shop when the rest of the world is shopping, I am shocked that there are this many humans. So this, my friends, this is your gold. This is your gold mine. This is exactly where all of your referrals come from. This is it, from all the spaces. These are just the people in the field of healthcare. Then there are the social spaces that you can identify too for extra brownie points on your homework. Social spaces, now those are your parks, your recreations, your grocery stores, where you take your family members for social activities. But generally, this is it. Get it figured out, know them, and go and drop your brochures there. Eventually, I'll show you how to make those brochures. But let me tell you, even an ugly one is better than nothing. And you can make them digitally. Just go to ChatGPT and say, hey, ChatGPT, I have a business. It is an assisted living business. I want to create a poster that says coming soon or opening soon. Create for me a poster, add on my address and add on my phone number. And you can say opening soon or coming soon and start even marketing yourself before your whatever opens, right? You can start marketing yourself before even your facility opens. Like, it's coming soon. So this is what we have. This is your healthcare ecosystem. Your homework for the morning is to figure out where all of these are. And as a tip, anytime an institution or an entity gets a healthcare license, it is recorded as public information in your Department of Health's website. So the first place to go is to go into your Department of Health and just Google or ask ChatGPT, where do I find information on all healthcare businesses? And then you'll find that link, and then you can go in there and you can look at what healthcare businesses are in your community. So anytime you have a state license, it becomes public information, and it's published on your Department of Health or whatever the name of your licensing body is called in your state. So start there. If you don't know where to go, ask ChatGPT. So prompt it. So homework is figure out. Well, thank you to those who have joined the live. I see you. I can see you over there. Homework for this weekend. Let me just put it in text. Your homework for this weekend is to what is it going to be? Figure out your healthcare ecosystem. There you go. And this is all that's included. All of this here is your healthcare ecosystem. So get it figured out. Now we have moved from understanding our healthcare ecosystem. We've understand the big bucks that are available in the industry for you. I've shown you now where to go to get this figured out and start building these relationships. Now we are coming down to the favorite part of this phase, which is how you're going to monetize and start understanding and packaging yourself up for monetization, because this is money coming in, but you need to package yourself to be able to receive that money coming in. So now we're going to move to how do I package myself to funnel this money to me, because these people have packaged themselves and they're funneling money from you. When you create your group home, you're packaging yourself with your service, and now you're creating a funnel so that money funnels to you. For me, creating this education and training program for all of you, I've created a system and I've packaged it, and my packaging is simplicity. See, I never doll up. I just come as I am. I just run out of bed and then I come. So my packaging is simplicity, authenticity, clarity, passion. It's my packaging. I look like this on purpose. Well, truthfully, I actually look like this, but I also look like this on purpose because I know what my target market looks like, and I want to grab your attention, and I grab your attention by mirroring you. Okay? And I'm mirroring you by being authentic. Just truly, fully just fell out of bed and ran here. So now I am, yes, I slept in these clothes. Yes, thank you for asking. So now we're going to come into something that's ultra super important, which is how do you package yourself to receive the best in class of the highest dollar? How do you do that? So just opening the group home and having the beds is great for you. I'll be happy for you when you get to that stage. But packaging it and communicating what you have is very, very important. And if you didn't know it, you're not even coming into the group home business, you're really coming into sales. But the product you're selling is your beds, right? Available beds. So now let's move on to the part I love the most. Now that you understand this, you can tell entrepreneurship has responsibility. Yep. But don't worry, you're going to be good about your responsibility because you're going to be aware of what to do and how to do it. By the way, let me mention this again. The education I've been providing on YouTube is on scholarship to you, meaning I have paid for all the costs. I have paid for the time to put the education content together to deliver it to you at no cost to you. I am paying for the cost, meaning just like you will be paying for the cost of establishing your group home by paying for the utilities and your time and the time it takes to create the curriculums and the knowledge and the product, right? The knowledge that I've gained, I've paid for the time to generate this knowledge so I can give it to you on scholarship. But now I have grown from there because I have finished creating quite a bit of the stuff that needs to be delivered to you in a formalized process. So now we are in phase 3. We're in phase 3 of this channel. And phase 3 now is where you're coming into a formalized setting to learn the formal things you need to do towards opening a group home, which is how to create those policies and procedures, how to accurately get your files done, how to fill your city permit applications, right? How to find your property, right? How to cross-check those leases to make sure they don't have funny things in the fine print. We're coming now to the formalized part of opening a group home. And I am inviting you to come into the formalized space, which you now have to pay for. So the YouTube education was just to help you get and learn and understand the whole process and grasp it and kind of memorize it and feel confident in it so that now at this process, I can turn around and say, pay me to come into the formalized classroom space because now I'm clear that you understand the general concept very clearly of what it takes to open a business. So now we're going into phase 3 of the process, which is you're now going to come and pay to enter the classroom. So at the end of this conversation, I will tell you again about the 3 products that I have created that I think are best suited for you because you either need to get a roadmap, a formalized roadmap for your state, and I will tell you what that is all about, or you need to come into the space where you're opening group homes that at the same time with cohorts with other members in your state, and I'll put all of you in a cohort that I'll be supervising, or you can come into an advanced executive master's program where we discuss some of this stuff, but at an even higher level, where now I will give you more of my individualized attention. So now I've come to the stage where I've created the formalized classroom space. So the YouTube education is designed to teach you the concepts and everything. And then now you move into the next step where you're taking a little bit of your monies that you have saved and you're now expending them intentionally into a classroom space so that you can have organized formal supervision, because now what you'll be doing is formal. It's formal documents you'll be submitting to your states and your cities. So in order to minimize the errors and the uncertainty of doing that process so that you can manage your money best, you have to come into a formalized classroom. This is not now winging and learning from outside the classroom. And I'll talk to you all about that in a little bit. But now we're coming into how you're going to package your product and your businesses to your ecosystem so that they're compelled and they understand what product you're offering and they're compelled to send you those referrals. So what we're now going to do is what I call creative packaging. Creative packaging. So now we're going to do creative packaging, and the whole goal of this is to build our referral pipeline. Okay, that's a package. Whenever you create a business, you want to creatively package it so it's attractive to the members of your ecosystem, right? To the other professionals in your ecosystem. This is the packaging that we're going to talk about. I'm going to first start by teaching you what my package is to you, and then I want you to look at your own package and figure out what your package will be for your ecosystem. So my product right now is education and training in the space of residential healthcare. And what is my packaging? The first thing about my packaging is my look. Now, let's describe my look. My look is friendly, loving. It is shabby. It is chic if you love shabby. It's not even the chic with the CHI. It is chic, which is the shabby part of chic with the CHICH. It is African styled-esque. It is not too wealthy looking, not too wealthy looking. It is non-glamorous. It is loose, stylish, loosey-goosey. It is loose. What else would you say about my style? Let me see, what else do I say? It's like half poverty, half povacious, half poverty signaling. So it signals poverty. You're like, oh my God, she doesn't have this. Look, my kitchen is still unfixed. So it's poverty. This is the signaling of poverty. The signaling of poverty is I'm not doing well financially. That's a signal. And you can see signals. Okay. Now that's a look. Then we go to the voice. The voice, the sound, and the communication. Now, my communication is clear. It is funny. It is simple. It is committed. It is brilliant. It is knowledgeable. It is friendly. And most importantly, it's accessible. Do you know why I know all of these things? Because I'm a designed product. You know, many of you think designed products are glamorous products. No. Every different market segment has a different design. There's a luxury market. There's a premium market. There's like a middle class market. There's a low income market. And there's a poverty market. All of these markets carry different signals, right? So my market is lower to middle class market segment, right? Lower to middle class. So it's not premium and it's not wealthy. My voice is premium. My knowledge is premium. But whatever, it's like in the upper bracket, right? My knowledge, my voice, my clarity. And it's in the upper market, like the top tier, because I have trained it to be in the top tier. But my look, see how I present myself? Signals poverty, signals looseness, signals ease, signals accessibility. It's designed that way. And I'm aware of it. See, just loose, simple, available, friendly. And I sell accessibility. Like, if you call me, I'll pick the phone, right? Because I look accessible and I look friendly. So I'll pick the phone. And then you can see here, volunteer. So I'm signaling that I volunteer. There's my African brand over there, my outdoor brand. You can see by my braids. So I signal African. I signal a bit of poverty, not doing too well. And then you see yourself in me, and then you hear that I've done it before. You're like, she's my girl. You see what I'm saying? This is my packaging. And that's what I communicate, because my target market wants this, looks like this, right? My target market looks like this, and they want this, right? So when you're packaging yourself for your market with your group homes, how you furnish your group home, where your group home is located, will signal to your ecosystem. It will signal to your ecosystem what your product is about. So you have to be deliberate about it. I can enter one home and be like, okay, this home for sure is for private paying residents who have $8,000 to $12,000 a month. I can enter a home and see that this home is for Medicaid residents who are dependent on the government to pay them. You are the one who's going to be responsible for the creative packaging on your product by deciding what market segment you're going to be serving. I was serving clients who were receiving help from the government. So my house was styled for them, meaning most of my products were bought from Goodwill to furnish my home because of servicing clients who were on Medicaid, right? If I was servicing clients who were paying me $12,000 to $15,000, my home would be in a different location, not Maricopa City, which is middle class kind of living. It would be in a high-end kind of neighborhood, and I would furnish my home in such a way as to signal to my ecosystem that the minimum I'm charging per bed is $10,000. So by understanding your ecosystem and where your home is going to be available, you are signaling out to the community what it is that you are asking for, right? So you're packaging yourself depending on the type of client you want to attract. Most of us are coming into the space to serve clients and will be paid by Medicaid or by the individual social security number. So most of us are not coming in to collect the private paying amounts, but you could do that as well, the private paying clients, and it would be a different signal and a different packaging. The goal of this is to teach you that you have to be clear about what your package is. You can take photos of your potential home or the home you currently live in, put those photographs in ChatGPT. It takes from 10 to 20 photographs, or even Claude.ai, and just ask it, describe to me the style of the person who lives in this home, and tell me what they are signaling for, what kind of client they are signaling for. So you can go on AI, ChatGPT or Claude, take photos of your home and upload them, and ask the AI to describe your style and the client you are signaling for. Okay? So that's it. So you come to me, you listen to my videos, you follow my product, you listen to what I have to say because you're clear. My knowledge on the industry is above the standard. You get what I'm saying? You're clear, I'm knowledgeable, you know what I'm doing. So you follow me, you come into this classroom because you can hear the passion, you can hear what I love, you can hear the encouragement, you can hear the sincerity, you can hear the authenticity. That's my package, right? You can hear the clarity of the way I communicate, how I teach, how I understand, how I get back to you. And then you look at your life and you're like, that's somebody I can identify with because I see myself in her. If she could have success, I can have success, right? So you hear it. So my knowledge is top tier. My results were top tier. My failures too were top tier. And I can come around and package my communication and communicate it to you. So the product is purposefully designed. My product is purposefully designed. And it's purposefully designed to attract you in, right? That's why you're in here. It's purposefully designed to attract you in because I'm committed to helping you where you are as caregivers. Because as I said, we come into this country, we start as a caregiver, and then we go up the ladder. So I'm purposefully designed for you. That's why I just run straight out of my bed and I come and impart this education to you, which is my commitment and my discipline, but it is a purposeful design because I'm trying to teach you also how to recreate your own lives as you prepare to come into the space of entrepreneurship, or if you are there, so you can be purposeful about your pursuit and your commitment. That's why I share with you openly the failures, okay? And then now when we're talking about the packaging, you have to be purposeful in the way you design your product for your audience, because the world is looking, the world is trying to understand what you have. So you have to clean up your communication about your product now being your group home. My product is education and training and this. And remember, we're all gearing to get a piece of that 5.3 trillion pie. That's why this knowledge is absolutely important, how you address and how you are organized. Now, as my income gets to increase, as your income gets to increase, because now you're building these homes, you're beginning to generate more money beyond your salaries, my packaging is going to change. My home is going to change. I'm going to move from the lower market to the middle market, to the premium market, and maybe into the luxury market, right? Because my revenue is going to change as I move on up with my education and training program. And that's what we're going to talk about right now. So have you all gotten the message about your creative packaging and what to do about it? Packaging, like be thoughtful about it, design it, ask ChatGPT this question so that you are conscious about your packaging. Now I'm going to move on up and tell you how my income is going to increase and how I will keep redesigning my package as more income comes to my family, to my company, so that you can also see for yourselves and the company that you're creating, how more income is going to come as you redesign and you establish your company. Okay, so now we got at this point. Let's move on to the next point. Ooh. Okay, now I told you today we're coming to the monies, and the monies is my favorite topic because I like to earn my monies because I've worked hard for them. Anyway, now you've understood your ecosystem, you've understood your creative packaging. We're now moving into the next layer of understanding, and the next layer of understanding is once you have the package, designing the amount you want to receive for your package. So your package is a group home, my package is the education and training. So now we are talking about designing your package for maximum profits. Actually, even before we get profits, let me start by saying designing it for cash flow and then maximum profits. Designing it to receive cash flow, and then designing it to receive profits, and then designing it to receive maximum profits. So here is your package. Whee! A nice big bowl. There's your package, right? So now you have your package. I have my package. My package is education and training. You have your package, which is going to be a group home. Now, once you have your package, hold on, let me get a sofa so I can show you this package thing. Hold on, people. Hold on. I'm coming. Take a break. Here we are. These are my soap bars. So now we're talking about designing your group home for maximum profit, right? Or designing your product, whatever your product is. So I'm going to give you some live examples. All right. This is a soap bar I made. It's an Easter bunny. It looks like chocolate, I know. So, right? This is an Easter bunny. So this is a product. If I sell my product like this as just the Easter bunny, the value is X. If I design my product like this, it's also a soap bar, same ingredients, different shape, different design. And now I've put a little tartan ribbon with this stripe with this string that's black and white. Same ingredients, it's both coconut oil and olive oil. Different shape, different design. From this design, it has a different value. If I package it like this, same ingredients, same soap bar, same amount, it's a different amount, right? So what am I saying? If I put it in, let me see. This kind of packaging, same thing, different design, different signaling. If I put it like this, it would attract a different audience, right? Different signaling. So what I'm saying with all of these things, right? Let me see if I can hold on them. Different packages make you feel a different way. Different packages signal to your audience, to your ecosystem, different things. And you have to figure that out. So here are the different packages of my soap bar. This one doesn't have any packaging. It's just a bunny. This is the same kind of soap bar packaged in 4 different ways. It signals something else in the marketplace. So when you're designing your group home, and the way you dress up your group home, the way you do the decor, the way you put your lights, the feeling it gives the clients is going to attract the audience that resonates best with your packaging. So when you get your group home, how you decorate it, that decoration is going to resonate with a certain clientele, and that's the clientele you'll attract in your home, because that's who your packaging is attracting. So that's what we're talking about. So if you want to maximize the amount of money you're going to receive per client, you need to maximize your signal. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because your signal is what you can control, is how you package your home, right? How you package your home controls how much money you get from it. If you use luxurious packaging, meaning your luxurious decor or the luxurious look, you're going to attract people willing to give more who resonate with that. If it's just middle-class living, that's fine too. You're going to attract people who resonate with that. So your package is the one that determines what level of client you want to attract in your home. If you're going to be servicing Medicare clients, I just tell you this straight up, you don't need to have luxurious packaging of the home, like upper tier, because that clientele does not resonate with that packaging. You could do that for your private residence, but lower middle class and middle class clientele do not resonate with that luxurious kind of or whatever. And you want people to feel safe and comfortable, and people feel safe and comfortable in the kind of styling that they're already used to for themselves and their lives. That's what you want to mirror. Obviously, it should be clean and safe, but you always want to mirror what it is that your clients, the segment of the clients that you're servicing, the market segment. So if they're like tiers here, the top being luxury, then premium, then let's say upper middle, then middle, then lower, and then this is just straight up poverty. Poverty. The poorlies over here, the poorlies. The poorlies, right? That is where I've been for a very long time. I've been with the poorlies. My knowledge is not in the poorlies, but my finances have been in the poorlies. I'm still in the poorlies, but now they're pulling up from being in the poorlies. So these are the different market segments. When you open up your group home, the way you decorate it is going to pull people who identify with the style of your home. That's your creative packaging, and that's how you're pulling in your money. If you know you're going to be servicing Medicaid clients in between lower middle class and poor, you need to stylize your house to suit that audience. Don't go and put, please, luxurious decor when you know your clients are Medicaid. It doesn't serve them well. If they're private paying clients who are upper middle class or are premium clients, decorate your house that way. So before you even get that home, you're already thinking stylistically, how am I going to package my home? The premium and the luxury market require more. They have higher demands for the services and how the services are delivered. So your service provision has to suit that market segment. These are market segments. If you're doing shared independent houses, you're probably serving the lower middle and people probably in poverty, maybe who are receiving SSI income, right? Because they're unable to work. So the only monies they have are the ones that they receive from the government. So think about what market segment your clients are going to be coming from, and then design your house to suit the market segment. But please do not have those trashy homes that I see. I mean, it's just so poorly done with the nastiest of furniture, the oldest trash that you've picked, I don't know from where. The houses are not well done. They have a smell. Please don't be those people. It doesn't matter whether you're servicing the poor people or the lower middle class. Have a home that you could live in. Like, do well. Like, all my stuff is from Goodwill, but it was good quality stuff that has stayed with me over 6 years. So please do not furnish your homes in such a way that, to me, I feel is abusive to the clientele that you're serving. It is not fair on them. Have good lamps, have good quality beds. I always say buy brand new mattresses and brand new beds, because every human being deserves quality sleep. And brand new beddings or really good beddings from Goodwill that are clean and fresh, and nice soft plush towels. Brand new towels in Marshalls are $7. Surely you can afford them. Goodwill also has pretty good quality towels. Some Goodwills in some states are not good. They're like really shabby, but the Goodwill in Arizona is really nice. So you can figure out that for yourself and then just get that done. Like, suit your market segment. So that's what I wanted to share with you about designing your package. So today we're just talking about your consciousness around your business, even as you're developing or coming into the space of group home, and thinking through these things ahead of time with your whiteboard. This is your homework for this weekend. Will help you a ton, because when you're clear, your path is clear and you're motivated about it, whether or not you have cash. I haven't had a ton of cash. I've been floating on $5 to $10, but listen to my motivation, because I am clear on where I'm going. So now, once you've packaged yourself, you've opened up yourself into the market to receive cash. I have packaged myself in my education and training. I've now packaged my 3 different programs, which are 3 different tiers that you can come in. So my 3 different programs are also designed for the 3 tiers. And you come in where you are. I have my behavioral health business masterclass. That's a premium product. So it costs $6,000, which is a premium price. And the reason it costs $6,000 is because the product that is being delivered here has a value of $30,000 to $50,000. So I've compressed and discounted it into something that is affordable, but is being sold at a premium price because it's a premium product. Then I have a product for the middle and lower class, or maybe a little touch of the slither of upper class. That's a product that's $497. That's where you come in and you learn quite a bit from each other's energy as a cohort, right? The premium product will be in a cohort as well. Then I have the starting point where you can come in before you're ready to engage a substantial amount of money. And that's a $97 product, which is just getting the roadmap, right? So that's how I've designed it. So there's a $97 product, which is where you can come in to just get the roadmap of what you need to do to open up a business. It's a clear sequence of whatever. And of course, you get 1 or 2 coaching calls with me. Then once you're clear of what you want to do and you're clear of your commitment, you now pay that $497 and come into the space where I band you up with people in your state who are doing work that is similar to yours or opening a group home that's similar to yours. So here you'll be in a cohort and learn from each other, right? You'll be in like groups. So the more people that join this program from your state, the better it is, because there's a number of groups here. And then now there's the $6,000, which is the premium product. And this is designed as an advanced business class, way advanced, an executive VIP business class for people who want that solid knowledge and they're committed to the industry and they're clear that they want to open those 4, 5, 6, 10 homes. Some of you have already opened homes before. You have 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have the cash flow that's above $250,000 a year. And you can pay and afford the $6,000 easily because you've already been in the industry and now you're just coming in to learn how to scale that, how to operationalize that, how to make it easier for you, or you're beginning to enter a different market segment that you don't know about. But because you've already been through these phases, you don't need to understand this knowledge in a way that's simplified because you've already been through the ringer and your businesses are generating revenue. So you'll come into the premium product, which is $6,000, and that's a behavioral health business masterclass. So that's how I have packaged my education product. Now you have to go ahead and package your group homes in the same way. And now we're going to go deeper into the monies because I'm going to show you how I'm going to grow my business and grow my personal income through these 3 funnels. These things, we call them funnels. Funnels. Now I'm teaching you guys entrepreneurship lingo. A funnel is how money is coming down to you, and what I have created is a sales funnel. So here's a funnel. Here's a funnel. And now the money is going to be coming to me. So here's the dollar sign, the dollar sign, the dollar sign, and coming to my organization. So it's a funnel. So what I have been designing behind the scenes is a sales funnel. A sales funnel tells you about all the 3 different products I have, what the features are, what the benefits are, and if you pay and consume the product, these are the desired transformative results that you're going to get. That is how I've designed the funnel of my education product. And now I'm talking to you who are members of my ecosystem. And my ecosystem is filled with people like you who are interested in learning how to open a group home. So YouTube is where my funnel starts. You start by Googling, how do I open a group home? Then you find my YouTube video. Then you come and listen to all these videos and you get your information and your questions clarified. You become certain, you clear up your commitment. You're like, this is what I want to do. You learn on my scholarship classes because I'm paying for you to get this information that I paid to learn through my experience of running this group homes. And then now from there, I move you into my sales funnel. Do you understand how entrepreneurship works? So everything I'm doing is by design. This look is by design. Talking to you and giving you all this valuable education on YouTube is by design. There's nothing that I'm doing just for the heck of doing. I may come across as loose and funny, but everything is design. And that's how I want you to be about your group home. Design it, design the process, understand exactly what you're doing. So now I'm moving you all from YouTube into my sales funnel. And as you come into my sales funnel, you're paying me. And that's how now I'm going to start building up my revenue. So I've earned your revenue by communicating this valuable education that's clearing out your uncertainty. It is clearing out any issues that you have. It is making the process clear, and now I'm bringing you all into a formalized environment through my funnel. That's the same thing you're going to do, because in your funnel, you're going to be inviting the elderly people, you're going to be inviting people with behavioral health issues, you'll be inviting people with developmental disabilities into your funnel, and when they come into your funnel, they're going to come here into your group home. That's how it works, okay? So this is my funnel. You're going to create yours because you're now a super amazing entrepreneur because I have taught you to do so. Now, once the money comes into your funnel, What happens after that? Now money is coming in, you guys are paying your 97, your 497, your $600. You're like, what next? So I'm going to share with you what next for me, so you can see where I'm going to with my company, and hopefully you can figure out your what next for your companies. And I know maybe some of you are not there yet, but it doesn't matter. This is advanced level education today. Today is Saturday. We are going deep in group homes with all this lovely education. We're going deep. We're going deep today. Once the money starts coming through to your funnel, what happens next? How do you manage your money now when you start getting your monies for your group homes? You have to design what to do. If you don't design what to do, it's going to go into all the places you don't want it to go into. Okay. Once your money is now flowing through, you've opened your group home, you've gotten your first clients, you have your first caregiver, you grow, you market to your ecosystem, you get your second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth client, your funnel is growing. What happens next? You have to have a plan. You know, people said, was it Harold Collins? If you don't have a plan, you plan to fail. When money comes in, what are you going to do with it? Whew. Let's see. Funnel. So now dollars are coming in, dollars are coming in, dollars are coming in from your ecosystem through your funnel to your group home, and then to you, your business costs, and now your investments. This is your group home. Now your money is coming in through your funnel. You've done a good job. You're marketing in your ecosystem. Your money is coming down. You're coming down. It's going to come to you. It's going to come to pay your business costs. This is your private use, if you so wish. Your business costs and your investments. That's what you're going to do with your money. So you need to be clear. What investments do you want to make once your money comes into you? Are you going to save your money and now start establishing the second group home, then save it again, open the third group home, the fourth group home? What are you going to invest your money in? You have to have this plan. You must know when your money comes in, what your business costs are going to be, how much you're going to take for your well-being and your family, and what you're going to put in for your investments, because you want to have a clear plan of how everything will grow. When my money comes in for my education service and my products, I'm going to move on up the ladder and expand my education program from no longer just you as my beloved caregivers. I'm going to hit my next layer, which is the MCUs, the managed care organizations. So for me, when the money comes down the ecosystem, there'll be money for me, there'll be money for my investments, but I'm going to upgrade my company from just educating you, my beloved caregivers. I'm now going to pull in and start educating insurance companies, meaning all of you who are contracted clients of the insurance companies. So here, I'm going to move up to MCOs, which is managed care organizations. And now I'm going to take care of all the people they've given contracts to as group homes. So now what I'm aiming to become is their partner. So I can license out my product, and educate all the insurance plans who have contracted group homes. Because now I'll go and I'll say, look, I've been doing this work for a year and a half. I've become very good at it. I've X number of caregivers who have come into the space for healthcare providers. I love calling you caregivers because I believe we're all caregivers at the end of the day. And now I want to come into your insurance plan, you who's contracted by the state plan, and help elevate the education and the knowledge of all the homes you have contracted. So from these monies, the $6,000, the $497, and the $97, this monies that you're giving me, I'm gonna create a bigger product. I'm just going to formalize and make it the packaging different, because now I'm going to insurance plans. These are like our Medicaid plans. Medicaid subcontractees, because they are contracting from the state Medicaid plan, state Medicaid. So now I'm going to come and help them educate all of you who are contracted by them and that have opened up a group home. Because now I've put it into practice in educating you, I'm beginning to see results that you're moving up your pipeline. So I'm going to go to my second layer, which is MCOs. And then once this happens, I'll move to my third layer, which is the state Medicaid programs. Now, this is where my money moves from this into the twing. Now, here I am really, in effect, going for the multi-million-dollar contracts. So, while this is growing at the caregiver stage, this is your funnel. This is the caregivers. And you're becoming better and better and better, and that business is growing all across the country. I'll now be moving into the MCOs because this will be self-sustaining. And then I move into the state Medicaid products. So I'll be doing the exact same thing, just packaged for a different audience. And to do this, I wanted to have the data and the statistics that I've done a good job with you, which is what I've developed and I've been working so hard for. Then I'm going to validate that my education product actually works from the amount of monies that will be coming in through my funnel. Then I am going to support this with the software that I've been developing, which I now can license to the MCOs and license to the state, and eventually flip the company, exit, retire, and have a very merry life. So that is my game plan. So when you're deciding your group homes, I want you to think of the same thing. You will start with that one group home, then you'll generate some money. You could open the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth. You could decide to flip that and sell off that company, or continue expanding, make it bigger, and then flip it off. It's good to think about these things ahead of time, even before you're there, because this is what we call business planning. You need to know where it is that you're going so that you wake up motivated. So this is it. This is my plan. This is what I intend to do. So I have you here as caregivers. You know, you're coming in as CNAs. Let me write it down here. You're coming in as CNAs, LP. Oh, my pen. CNAs, LPNs. You know, you're coming in as NPs. You're coming in as physicians. You're coming in as nurse aides. You're coming in as case managers, discharge planners, counselors. Oops, I don't know if I spelled that. Social workers. People who provide services to the hospitals. You're coming in from all over the country in all the different fields. Whoopsie. Oops. Sorry. So you're coming in from all this into my funnel. You pay that price. You come into the classroom. You establish the group homes. Then you move from one group home to 2, 3, 4, 5. Meanwhile, I'm now growing the company. I'm growing your use of the software. I go to the MCOs, the managed care organizations, insurance plans. I license it out. And then, you know, the product is working for them. All of these group homes are now learning what it takes to be compliant, which helps insurance plans meet their goals of having adequate providers who can service their members who are compliant. And then I move to the state and start supporting the states. So that's how I decided I want to solve the problem. And that's what I'm dedicated to. So you're in my first phase of problem solving because you're my passion, you're my heart, you remind me of me. Then I'm going to go to phase 2 and phase 3. And then I'm going to exit the company. I'm going to sell it, and be like, bye. And then I'm going to start all over again. Probably in the same industry or in a different industry, but I'm going to do this process all over again Start from here, then move here, then move here. So that's my plan. So that's what I wanted to share with you today is understand the master big plan of the industry that you are in. Get clear on that. Get clear on what the size of the market is for the business you are in, the big size, the small size, how much money it is. Then from there, figure out your plan it out, figure out your ecosystem where your potential referrals are going to come from. Start designing your marketing pieces with ChatGPT. ChatGPT creates for you those posters and those images very quickly. Once you finish that, get your first group home going, come into the class, a formalized class environment, pay your monies depending on where you're at and what you can afford and what you need for yourself to transform you from where you are in business. Once you finish paying that, move on to the next level of your business. Once you grow, you have this network, your referrals are growing, your money is coming in, save your money or put your monies aside to open the second group home, the third group home, the fourth group home. Then you can always decide whether you want to expand further or flip that business, make that money, start all over again. You are the one way to decide, or whether you want to keep that business forever in your family. So what I have discussed today is you have to be conscious about the business that you are building. You have to be conscious about the industry in which your business is going to be serving. You need to know your numbers and you need to be conscious about your process, because your clarity is what is going to create your profits. And that's our Pamoja trademark slogan. Clarity creates profits. Because I am clear, I am going to be profitable. And now I'm going to start receiving my monies from you to compensate me for the cost of delivering this education to you. And then I'm going to market harder and harder and harder and more efficiently until I get a profitable point. And then I'm going to keep duplicating and duplicating and duplicating that. Meanwhile, I will also start elevating to my next level of business, which is selling my product to the MCOs, the managed care plans, insurance plans that you know of in your states, because I will have come with the evidence that I can do a good job in educating people who are coming into the space of opening group homes and those who are already running group homes, and then move even further up and now take my program to the state so I can help improve healthcare across the country. So that's my goal. Mine is a big goal. It's a big mission, but I know I can do it, and I'm doing it, and I wake up to do it every day, and I'm supporting you lovingly so that you can do the same. Because my goal is to improve healthcare in the country with specificity by improving the well-being of providers and then improving the well-being of the clients that we serve. And I'm also doing it in addition by utilizing AI and by using technology. And when you bring technology into the space, it increases the value of the product. So that's what I wake up and work hard for. What do you wake up and work hard for? See you all in the next live. I love you all. Do a good job. I'm going to post the link to the 3 products I have for you to buy, and hopefully you can join us in the formalized classroom. But I'm so excited to be in this space and level of life. This is fun. I love doing it. It's joyful money for me. It's money I've earned through the joyous process of educating you. I think you're going to be ultra super successful. You will definitely do way better than I did. I can already see it. I can already feel it. I thank you all for subscribing to this channel and for taking on the commitment to improve your financial well-being. That commitment is not easy. It needs a lot of hard work. It needs a lot of discipline, but you got it going. You deserve that increase of income. You deserve to experience the lifestyle that comes across from a working business. You deserve to be knowledgeable. And that's why I wake up and do this for you every day. And now I can't wait for my bank account to grow from all the value that I have imparted to you. And I am just so excited to see that phase in life happen. And it's going to be magical for me. And it's going to be magical for you. So It's bootcamp Saturday. I told you, no sleeping. We got to wake up early and we got to get going. So keep working hard. Send me if you have any questions. My number is 520 510 5057. Tell me what state you are in, what you're up to, what part of the process you are in, and how I can help you move further along down the process so that you can do extremely well. But today's lesson is super, super, super important, because if you get your big picture, you're always going to be motivated and you will always come into the day from a mind frame of abundance rather than a mind frame of scarcity and poverty, because you are clear on the big fish that you're here to come and earn. Have yourselves a lovely Saturday. I will see you again sometime soon. Peace out.